Some people in the Sims community are so entitled to things that they shouldn't be entitled to. And it goes without saying that people in the Sims community treat the modders in said community horribly. Now, I say some because it's not all of people in the Sims community, but I've definitely seen a lot of people complaining and getting upset about the sheer fact of a mod creator not updating their mods to the recent game update. And granted, most of these mod creators don't even get paid for doing this for real. And again, just like other people in the world who actually do have work and other things that they have to worry about, they do have a life outside of creating mods for The Sims. Now, for me personally, I always am trying to be understanding with the situation because, again, people have lives outside of being a Sims modder or a Sims creator. Like, that may not be their full job and that may not be their main source of income. So, their last priority is updating a mod of theirs that can wait. And not trying to make assumptions here, but that's probably why Anadius left the first time around because of all the backlash that he has been getting with pirating The Sims 4. And even now, so given the downfall of The Sims 4 and EA as a whole, and the back on top of the backlash that he has been getting with many people in the community, gave him the push needed to remove himself from the situation entirely. And look, I don't have the skills or the patience capable to sit down and program an entire mod by myself from scratch. And I have to give mod creators their credits, especially since they're not getting paid by EA to make said mods. Half of these mod creators go above and beyond for the Sims community to make sure they have what they need and what they want. Something that the Sims 4, unfortunately, being a big company, is unable to do for some reason. And I'm not going to make any excuses for the Sims 4 because if people can make mods such as the childbirth mod, realistic childbirth, or MC Command Center, more columns, and even UI extensions, there should be no excuses as to why EA can't implement that in the game already. Because the definition of mod, aka modification, modifying what the game already is and trying to turn it into something new. And not a lot of people can do that. And not a lot of people have the time and patience to do that. And I say this because it's different from being a CC creator. If you strictly make like CC content, hair, makeup, clothes, shoes, etc., content over actual mods. Custom content is different from mods, as custom content doesn't necessarily change how you play your game. It just changes the aesthetic and the appeal of what the game already is. I personally feel like a lot of people in the Sims community can be very much ungrateful and always expecting handouts. Now, most of these mod creators and CC creators have a Patreon, and on Patreon is usually a paying platform. Not all the time, especially if you can subscribe to someone who offers free stuff. And for me personally, I love receiving free stuff. So that's why I don't complain about CC creators locking certain things behind a paywall. But the only problem I have with that is when a CC creator or a mod creator has their stuff locked behind a paywall over the extended time period that it's supposed to be locked for. I'm pretty sure EA has a policy of like 2 weeks, 3 weeks max of having CC or mods locked behind a paywall. That if you overextend that, that's being a little greedy at that point, you know? And I've seen a lot of CC creators and mod creators on Patreon who have to this day have their CC or mods locked from the public. Now, I can understand for those few weeks of it being released that the creators of the mod or CC or whatever need to get paid for it. And usually it's like $3 or so. Nothing too serious for just like a basic package. And I get it. You got to get your bag some way, shape, or form. But like I said earlier, I love getting free stuff. So I will gladly wait the 2, 3, even 4 weeks until that CC becomes free. And it's not because I can't afford whatever it is the package is, but it's just like if it's going to get free at some point, I'd rather wait, you know? Especially knowing how expensive this game is with all the packs included. It's not cheap. So it's nice to have a couple of options that you can get for free. And that's why a lot of people get CC and mod for free if they can. Now, for example, if I really like the creator and I really like their stuff, I have no problem signing up for a paid subscription to this person because I really like their stuff. I really want to help support them. But if it's just a creator that I use once or twice in a decade, I don't feel the need to subscribe to them, you know? Especially since most of their stuff is already free on Patreon to acquire. And I say all this to say, I do find it very ironic how the same people who complain about not having certain things in the game to EA, but then feel so much entitlement to these people who spend hours. Like, this stuff is not easy. Spend hours modifying and coding into their mod pack to make it functional for you to play in the game. That stuff takes real skill, and it's not something that just happens overnight or you can learn in one day. And I'm separating mods and CC as completely two different entities because I personally feel like making a brand new mod from scratch, like from absolute nothing but the blueprints that The Sims 4 gives you, which isn't really much to begin with, is not easy compared to like making hair or clothes or shoes or anything in The Sims. I'm not saying that either or is harder. I just feel like the learning curve is a lot different from making CC to mods. Though I could be completely wrong, so don't take my word for this as facts. But that's just my personal opinion on that. And recently, I've had to downsize my mods folder tremendously to only like my must-have mods that I absolutely cannot live without. All of like the small little bits and mods I don't worry about because other big mods already have that included. Now, I haven't touched or played The Sims 4 in a hot minute, and that also includes my mods folder. I can't be bothered with that right now. And I'm quite frankly, honestly thinking of just deleting my whole mods folder because I quite literally can't play the game in its current state, which is unfortunate. But I don't know, I have attachment issues and I'm a hoarder. I will always say this, mods and CC are essentials. I do feel like for a lot of people who don't own a computer, laptop, or unable to download CC and mods have to rely on like the kits, which is basically a CC equivalent to the free stuff you would get if you were like on computer or something like that, which definitely feels unfortunate at some points because there's a lot of console players out there who play The Sims 4 and have to rely on like the base game, other packs, and even the kits specifically to spruce up their Sims or their aesthetic. And if you already know, some of the Sims 4 packs are very much unnecessary and or broken. And I try not to take for granted the small little wins that we do have with getting free CC and mods. Because again, there's a lot of CC creators that put time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears into making their mods in CC that they don't have to. They can shut down their Patreon anytime that they want, especially if it's not their main source of income. It's just a hobby of theirs or something that they love to do on the side. But a lot of people feel like rushing them and trying to make them feel bad for having a life outside of making mods or CC. I get it. We want to play with our brand new mods when the game updates, but most of the mods that I use specifically break after each major game update. And even like the smaller updates sometimes, like if it's like a Create a Sim update or something like that, it definitely does break some of my mods that I have. And usually for those types of situations, go offline to continue playing with your family until said creator updates their mod. I don't feel the need to harass, nor do I feel the need to rush a creator to fix or update their mod. They will fix it when they fix it. Trust, they don't forget about it. I do feel like we should give mod creators and CC creators more grace because again, they're not being paid by EA to do this. And they quite frankly don't have to do this if they don't want to. And that's why I consider mod creators and CC creators of the Sims community saints. Now, since I haven't touched The Sims 4 in a hot minute, including my mods, I know I have quite a bit of mods that are outdated and need to be updated as well as the game itself, but I can't be bothered with doing that. I always try to write down the mods that usually would break with every Sims update and wait for that creator to post an update saying that's updated or this updated or whatever. And some mods like MC Command Center don't usually break a lot of the times when it comes to new updates. Sometimes it does, but not as frequent as some of these other mods out here that do need regular updates corresponding to the updates in The Sims 4. And for me personally, you will never find me complaining about free stuff. Even if that person has their thing locked behind paywall for all of eternity, never to see the light of day again, I'm not going to sit up here and try to bash or harass them. I mean, that is technically their stuff, even though there's some parts and pieces of it that are from The Sims. Like I said, The Sims gives these mod creators and CC creators the blueprint to make whatever it is that they need to make. So in some way, shape, or form, EA own that CC or mod in some way, shape, or form, even if it's very small. And I say all this to say that even now, more than ever, I know that some CC and mod creators are potentially suffering with everything that's going on with EA and The Sims 4 as a whole, considering that probably many mod creators and CC creators have decided to step down or step away from making Sims content or The Sims in general. And I'm not saying that's 100% true or anything, but I do feel like the way things are now with EA, it's just not the prime time to be making new CC or mods or content, as it is still considered promoting the game in some way, shape, or form, or continue to fuel the game in a way. I want The Sims to get better. I want the Sims community to also grow, because right now, more than ever, is just not the time for it. And I do feel bad that some, and maybe even more, mod creators and CC creators are suffering from this, especially if this is their main source of income and they make a lot of money by making CC or mods for The Sims 4, but they are also suffering the backlash of what's happening with EA and the buyout. But that's all I have to say for that. That's just my little 2 cents on the whole situation with mod creators. I definitely have sympathy for them and feel bad for them, because they don't deserve the hate and harassment that they have been getting for years. And I'm not saying that all mod creators and CC creators are getting this type of treatment. I'm just saying the select few who are very much getting attacked, and I say specifically mod creators, considering that most CC doesn't usually break. Most CC hairs that I've had for years don't break. They don't, every update, it doesn't break. It doesn't really mess with the mesh or anything. So that's why I say mostly like mod creators who are centered around modifying the game get a lot of harassment around that. But let me know down below your thoughts and opinions on this whole situation as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye, everyone.